Hello, good morning, and welcome to your long-lost friend, long-lost program. But we are back at the end of the day, so wherever you're catching us or watching us from, this is SOUQ Pulse. My name is SOUQ, John Rogers SOUQ. We always tell you here we talk, and we have kept talking. We have not stopped talking. Here we look at issues that affect your government. We look at policy issues that affect your government, and we look at money issues that affect your pocket. We ask you basic questions on your table. Is the food still rolling? On your company where you work, are the services still available? What are those things that are pushing development on your neck of the wood? Are we still pushing? Are we still making gains? Are we losing? Where exactly are we? This is SOUQ Pulse, where we talk, and talk we will. Remember, you have to be part of this particular new regenerated SOUQ Pulse. So hey, join us. Go to our social media platforms, on your Facebook, on your X Twitter account, on your TikTok, on YouTube, and follow us, like and share. Let's be part of this conversation in this new era of SOUQ Pulse. A lot has happened while we were away, but hey, we're back, and we will catch up, and we will talk. Today on SOUQ Pulse, we will be looking and asking ourselves this basic question. The CNG Initiative, you heard us, the CNG Initiative, how far and how well? That is where we'll be going today. And hey, you know, the government envisioned this particular big, beautiful initiative as a strategic response to the removal of petrol subsidy, that's the fuel subsidy. And it was aimed at reducing transportation costs. It was also aimed at curbing inflation, leveraging Nigeria's vast gas reserve, and creating a cleaner energy ecosystem. However, the implementation is plagued by, in quote, some misalignment between top-down policy and bottom-up reality. What is the ambitious timeline? Where are we? What are the funding gaps? Where are we? Infrastructure deficit? Where are we? And the lack of coordination among stakeholders, among those that are supposed to engage, how have that created a wide chasm between the promise and the delivery? That is what we'll be talking today on SOUQ Pulse. So you can't miss a single moment of today's episode. My name is SOUQ, and remember, we have a guest, someone who has been burning to lay his mind bare on this particular topic, where his expertise and consultation has always been needed and consulted for over the years. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, please join me as I welcome on SOUQ Pulse again, Honorable Emmanuel Odafe Igbini. Good morning, sir, and welcome to SOUQ Pulse.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure having you. Hope you're doing great.
We are trying our best to survive.
You are not surviving. You're looking very radiant. Now, let's get to the matter of the day. Now, a lot has been spent, a lot has been budgeted for. The CNG project was in the 2024 budget as it was in the 2025 budget. Monies were put down in the 2024 budget, about 130 billion to be precise. Monies were also put in the 2025 budget. Now, the government is looking at private initiative, looking at monies, about 1.5 billion investment. But roughly about 900 and something has come from private investment into this particular thing. But now let's start from the basic. Did we initiate this particular project? Talking about the presidential initiative. Did it come prepared, or it was just a child that came out of necessity after fuel subsidy was removed? Let's start from there.
Whether it came out as a child of necessity, only the government can answer that because I'm not part of the government. But all I can say is that it is rather unfortunate that we seem not to have a clearly defined policy in our country, particularly when it comes to the petroleum sector. And what bothers me a lot, because that is my primary constituency where I earned years of experience working in the heart of it, the production department. The petroleum sector of Nigeria is the heartbeat, the treasure base, the big heart of Nigeria. Nigeria is respected. Whoever emerges as president of Nigeria, that person is worshipped by world leaders. Not because of the person's intellectual capacity or anything, but because that person is the president and commander-in-chief of an oil-rich Federal Republic of Nigeria. It defines our economy. Our national security is also a function of how well we manage our petroleum sector. So I would have expected that, having gotten it right far back the 1971, when the then military government of General Yakubu Gowon took the right decision by telling the then Share BP that enough, we want to take over the control of our petroleum resources. And having done that, they came up with the 1969 Petroleum Act. And that act vested the entire petroleum resources of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the hands of the people of Nigeria, taking it away from the Share BPs and the rest of them. They went further. General Gowon went further, and his team went further to say, okay, how do we now move forward to maximize the benefit of this God-given resource? And then they decided to join OPEC, the oil producing and exporting countries. Then we had, of course, the founding fathers of OPEC, the leaders of Iraq, Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and a few of them there. And what is the objective of OPEC? Clear. It has to do with what? Taking control of their God-given petroleum resources, managing it for themselves, and also using it to create industrialization that will enable their children and generations yet unborn to also key into the industrial revolution of the world. Go to those countries, you see what they have done. We got it right initially, but as we progress, we lost focus. Now, why I'm laying this background for Nigerians to understand is because of the question you asked, whether moving to CNG was a deliberate policy of the present government led by President Tinubu, or it was a child of necessity, which means, haven't put a stop to the fraud, for the years of fraud that we call fuel subsidy. We now appear to be in a quagmire. So what do? And then suddenly refineries are not working. And then maybe suddenly someone says, okay, why don't we turn to CNG? As if CNG is something that you just start, boom. And then everywhere you have energized everywhere, and then all vehicles are now running on CNG. How? That is why I have never supported this haste with which they force Nigerians to swallow hook, line, and sinker this thing they call CNG. If you know, on your program, I've been very, very consistent. CNG, no for now, not the way we went about it. We have a problem, and we cannot shy away from that problem. And that problem is that our petroleum sector has been grossly mismanaged after, up to the early 80s. Thereafter, mismanaged. We are no longer in control of the petroleum sector. People just come in and they steal. In fact, the amount of crude oil stolen from Nigeria today is mind-boggling. You see, so instead of us rallying around whoever is our president to say, let us put an end to it and let us take back our petroleum sector, control it and manage it and develop it for the interest of our country and our generation and the one yet unborn, we are now looking for quick fix. Oh, they will now come from somewhere. What you need now is a solar system. Solar energy is the alternative way to go. Abandon your petroleum sector. Go solar. We now jump to solar. The government will now pump in billions and billions of naira into solar. The next day came, we are talking about a global world that is so environmentally friendly, so anything that has to do with petrol, diesel, forget about it. Let's go what? CNG. And then we jumped into CNG. At another point, they say, oh, it is now electric powered vehicles. We jump into electric power. So you can see that we have no focus.
Okay,
But yet,
hold on, Honorable. Hold on, Honorable. First, I want to say thank you for taking us back and giving us a brief history of your expertise and the petroleum sector. Now, we are here. You said we jumped, good and fine. The jump has happened. We are right in the middle of the pond. So let's talk numbers and ask ourselves those particular questions. And I want you to, just the way you openly and honestly drop it, the way you see it, let's also go there. Now, for this particular CNG that we got into, the Presidential Initiative, that's where I'm coming from, we saw in 2024, there was a budget of 130 million for clean transition, in quote, clean transition, going to CNG. Now, we now saw also government trying to fund conversions, the kits, conversion kits. The government also trying to tell other private initiative, hey, open up pump station, open up CNG stations. This is where we are right now. Before this time, majorly maybe truckers were the ones that were using the CNG. Then those that, in quote, bought some cars from outside this country and saw means of getting that particular fuel. But where we are right now, let's ask ourselves this particular question. How far, how well? Are these conversions really paying off? Can we put a figure and hand to the number of cars that have been converted, be it for free or be it on paid terms? Who is converting? Where are the centers? We only saw in Lagos and in Abuja and roughly in Port Harcourt. Can we specifically say that the 130 million has been judiciously put in use?
Well, my brother, you cannot get me to now become a PRO of the federal government. I have no business with the federal government. I would have loved if you invited, I think they have a young man they appointed as somebody in charge of this Presidential CNG Initiative. I wish he were here, but let me now go straight, so as if I'm avoiding it. You see, you talked about government funding what? Funding both the conversion and provision of the kit.
Yes.
You see, we have a problem in this country. I've told you, that's why I gave the background. With due respect to Mr. President, he's being grossly deceived. I was the one who advised him to be Minister of Petroleum Resources. I didn't advise him to appoint people who will deceive him. He's being deceived because he does not know the oil industry. Yes, he worked for Mobil as an accountant. What does an accountant know in the petroleum sector? Their own is to, push figures. But I'm talking about the real sector itself. Now, what business has government with conversion and kits, provision of kits? You ask yourself, you're in Abuja, I think you're in Abuja or Lagos, I don't know. How many vehicles have been converted to what CNG? Where I live, we just saw some few keke, few tricycle, what we call keke here. Some few weeks ago, you can count them. I'm not sure they're even probably up to 20 or 30. How do we control like this to deceive ourselves? Even in the America we're talking about, how many vehicles are on CNG? Far back 1995, one of the cars I bought those days, it came with a CNG tank. Of course, I removed it now. Removed it. You see, when we talk about CNG, is it that you people think that CNG is just what you go and buy in one market and then you feel like you're having your LPG, cooking gas? No. The difference between CNG and LPG, the process of producing a CNG is almost like also setting up a refinery. Because first of all, what is CNG? It's a natural gas, which means natural gas, then compressed. Where do you get the natural gas from? It's also from the wells, where you have also the petroleum or what you call crude oil. Let me explain it basically. When we explore for oil, there are some wells, some formations that are more of gas, far, far more than crude oil, while some are of crude oil more than gas. So it depends on what the company or the country desire at a particular time. If For instance, I think Qatar is more of a gas producing country. So their focus is always looking for what? Wells that are of high gas content. So it is from those wells that you just naturally produce the gas, and then when they come to the surface, you compress them to very, very, about less than 1% of their initial volume. That's why I see all those CNG vehicles, especially the trucks, they carry some few cylinders and that can take them for hundreds of kilometers. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is that it is not easy just waking up and saying you are now producing CNG. To the best of my knowledge, I don't know how many CNG companies we have in this country. One of my friends, in Abuja, is a foreigner, but he has an LNG greenfield along very close to Port Harcourt. How many of those do we have? So when people or a government just wake up and say, oh, now that we have stopped fuel subsidy, the refineries are not working, Nigerians are complaining price of petroleum product has increased. What? Oh, so let us go for CNG. You are reading out figures. How many millions? Is it in dollars or we said 130? I'm very sure you're referring to millions. That is
130 billion.
Oh, 100. Can you imagine? So what have they done with that money? Wasted.
Well, I think we'll need you to give us more of the answers because you play in that particular sector. And I think your first line when you said you advised the president to be the Minister of Petroleum, I think I remember very well, and I was present when you did it. So we also hold you liable to some of these decisions because this is where we are.
I have no regret.
Okay.
Yes, I have no regret. I advise the late Muhammadu Buhari, President Muhammadu Buhari, may so rest in peace. I also advised him to be Minister of Petroleum Resources. And when the likes of senior comrade Chief Olisa Bakuba SAN were very angry, the Falanas, and said they're going to court, I flew from Warri to Abuja that I want to join in that suit because I know why I asked that whoever the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria should be a petroleum minister because the kind of mafia, you heard Dangote shouting last year that he never knew that they are mafias. I laughed. In 2019, I was on a program on one of, I don't know if I should mention the TV station, 6 years ago. And then they asked me a question about Dangote coming up with his refinery, and I laughed. I say he's going to meet a real challenge that he has never experienced in his life. And it's going to be tough. And it's already happening with the Pengasa and Nupeng taking on him. That is just the first step. That is to tell you how complex and complicated the petroleum industry is all over the world. So it is not a Tea Party thing. That's why I insisted that only the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, I was referring to a Buhari or a Tinubu, or maybe by God will you become the next president, God willing. I will still insist that since you are the president and commander-in-chief of the armed forces, you should be the petroleum minister because it is only you that has the constitutional power as the commander-in-chief of the armed forces to deploy the armed forces against those petro terrorists. See what Donald Trump has done in the U.S.
Okay. Why we look at where we are right now? Let's now start asking these questions that I also want
very,
to.
very important, please.
Okay, go ahead.
Quickly, let me make the point.
Go ahead.
You heard that Donald Trump had to declare full-scale war against drug importers, hard drug importers into the U.S.
Yes.
Using the armed forces. That is why I said, for Nigeria's situation, our worst enemy is or are the petro terrorists. You find them in the IOCs, you find them in the private companies now owned by Nigerians. Those are the ones stealing the crude oil, not all these 2 drums and 3 drums that some of our boys, I'm not holding brief for them, that they steal and do some conversion for. The big thieves, quote me, I've been saying it over and over. And you and I cannot confront them. Only, even if they appoint me as petroleum minister, I will tell the president I will not have power to face them. I have tried it before when I was senior leader. They do me something. 25 years, they kicked me out and I cannot find justice. Only. That is why you see those who are appointed by the president as either minister or state petroleum resources, oil and gas, or the head of any PROC or the head of NNDPR, you see that they cannot do. What should they do? Are they doing anything? They cannot, because the mafias are too powerful. Dangote to shout, you will know that he has seen something.
Okay. Now we fully understand. Okay, good. Now we fully understand your take when you say the president should be the Minister of Petroleum, because he has the power to really effect the changes. Now let's still look at this CNG initiative, the Presidential CNG Initiative. From your point, you're saying that that focus was a missed focus. But now let's see where we are right now. We have seen people try converting their cars from petrol, PMS, to use CNG. And the cost is between, well, if they get some rebate, between 500 if they get a rebate. If they don't have a rebate, it's between almost 1.2 million. And as we speak, we have barely 54 on paper CNG stations. Are you seeing a possibility where people will see opportunities in this particular sector and invest in stations and in conversions, making it cheaper for us? Is it possible?
Well, you brought some figures that are quite interesting. I say it costs about 500 to 1.2 million naira to convert. Am I correct? I heard you very correctly.
Yes, you are very correct.
Now, that reminds. Let me draw your attention to the 90s, when those days the first set of what we call Belgian vehicles were being imported. And when they come in, most of them don't come with factory-fitted air conditioner or air conditioning system. So what we now do is that we take our own that has no AC, we take to technicians and ask them to fix. So they get all the parts and try to fix. Do you know that the ones fixed by technicians, you can't compare them with the factory-fitted ones? Once you spend your money in less than 1 year, you pack everything off. You'll be creating more problem for your engine, leaking and all those things. But the ones with factory-fitted ACs, they run for years, just like what you have to. That is the same thing you are facing with the CNG. Are you getting me? You can't compare both. A factory-fitted CNG powered vehicle cannot be compared with the one that you buy kit and then you begin to get technician to fit, because originally the design of the vehicle you are trying to convert to CNG from petrol did not make provision for that. And the moment you begin, I talk, look, I studied petroleum engineering, I studied mechanical engineering, and I studied electrical electronics engineering. So I am talking as someone who is well grounded in these things. The moment you begin to make some adjustment, you're already altering the original design of those vehicles that are not meant to be powered by CNG. But if you're able to buy a vehicle that has that provision right from the factory, that all you need to do is that you just get your cylinder and then you hook up, you have less problem. But if you are going to convert your car to CNG from, my brother, the problem is like us who converted. We tried to fix AC when our cars were imported, we didn't have AC. You understand? So what I'm trying to say is
I understand.
The solution is simple. Can we have Mr. President having that patriotic courage to give a matching order to the board of the NNPCL to go and fix the refinery for us? I've told us we cannot run away from it. All this will be what the essence of the CNG. The CNG was okay. The first of all, to Nigeria, that once you buy CNG, the cost of your fueling your car is reduced by more than 50%. Isn't it also? That was why Nigeria went there. I even heard recently that the prices have gone up again. The wahala there, I refuse to be part of it. I will not convert. I might not be saying it. I will not convert. Because I know that what we have on ground will not support it. If with my knowledge, I will go and behave foolishly, then something's wrong with me. Or maybe I was not properly trained in the university, and then my certificate should be withdrawn from me. Okay. If you say I'm campaigning against it, yes, I am. I, Igbini, an engineer, I'm campaigning against it. It's a waste of time, waste of our resources. Let them go and fix our refineries.
Okay. Why are you
if they cannot fix it, let them. I never support them.
why you're looking at this presidential CNG initiative as a waste of time and waste of resources, definitely you will have your reasons. But like I always say, this is where we are and this is where we found ourselves. Now, as we speak, we have had an influx of about $980 million coming in from private quarters. About 980. And you were the first to mention Greenville Energy. Yes, they are also invested in that. But at the end of the day, we are looking for solutions that came after removal of fuel subsidy. We're looking for solutions that should be able to get people to pay less for energy thanks to the cost of fuel. But as we speak right now, just like you also rightly said, just barely 2 weeks ago, the price of CNG also went up from what it was before. Now, let me put this question to you as a major supporter of the president being the Minister of Petroleum Resources. Aside you saying fix our refineries, that has always been your take from day one. How can this initiative, this CNG initiative, what possibilities, what likely small possibilities can make it work?
I love that. You are not even talking about a larger possibility now. You have now reduced it to what? The slightest possibility. Oh, God. You see, this is our country. We are very funny people. I don't know why we deceive ourselves with due respect. The solution remains simple. Engineer Emmanuel Odafe Igbini. I have said it over and over, and I will repeat myself. I will make it possible for Nigerians to buy petrol for not more than 15 naira per liter. What do you mean now? You see the problem we have in this country. Yes, the president has emerged. Yes, he has to look for people around him that he has known for so many years to give them, empower them by appointing them. But you see, let us be very, very serious for once. Appointing people there are certain positions and certain tasks that you don't look for people you already know. Look for the best in this country. Look for the best in this country. And that is talking about the petroleum sector. That is the heartbeat, the treasure beat, the big heart of this country. If we can't fix the petroleum sector, nothing will move. I have repeated it, let me repeat myself. Mr. President, your renewed hope agenda is dead on arrival if you cannot fix the petroleum sector. Will you go so you continue to go and borrow money from outside to come and do what? And be sharing for people as a way of renewed hope? I have said we can fix our refinery and we can sell conveniently a liter of petrol diesel for not more than 50 naira per liter. Quote me now. I've been saying it over and over now. What is the problem now?
Okay,
come and point me.
Why?
I said it before.
I wish I have the powers to appoint.
I said it before that I want to have access to Mr. President so I can whisper to his ears. Bayo Onanuga is somebody who knows me very well. I interact with him every day. These people, Joe, I don't know whether they love this country or they even love Mr. President. With due respect.
Okay.
Look at those that he has appointed so far from.
Okay, while you dwell on some of the appointments, hold on. We'll go on a very short break. When we return, we'll let you simmer a bit and we will talk more on CNG because this is an initiative that possibilities amount. Possibilities abound. Possibilities are always there. Now, did we come here by haste? Possible, yes. Did we come here after an initiation that did not work out because of the fuel subsidy removal? Yes. But how can we make the best out of where we are right now? We are still going to keep talking. Our guest is not going anywhere, even while he seeks the appointment and try to get his words very close to the ears of the president. Don't go anywhere. SOUQ Pulse will be right back. Welcome back. It's still SOUQ Pulse and we are here live. Now, we're looking at the CNG initiative and we're asking ourselves how far, how well, where exactly are we? This rollout happened October 2023 and this is 2025. A lot of monies have gone in and we are yet to see the direct impact coming from that particular initiative. Is it going to take time? Yes. Is it a sprint? No. Is it a marathon? Yes. But how well and how far have we gone with that marathon? That's what we are talking about. So now, let's get to talk about some of the centers that have come up. Our guest, Honorable, is an engineer for those that are not well aware. He's a well-certified engineer. He is of the opinion that, hey, we can do better with this if we focus on something else. But this is where we are. But now let's talk about what he talked about, having this particular vehicles come prefab, pre-standardized, and not just conversion. But now looking at where Nigeria is right now and the amount of vehicles on the streets, plying our roads, being in commercial, is that something that is achievable? Can we phase out to bring in new ones? That is difficult. So we have to convert. But now let's talk about those converters. Let's talk about the opportunities in these centers. Now let's talk about our car manufacturers. They are honorable. Now I'm coming back to you. Let's look at our car assembly plants. Let's look at our technicians. Let's look at the people that know how or can be trained in getting this done. Is this an opportunity in this particular sector to get Nigerians to face this particular sector and get the knowledge and possibly opportunities for businesses to thrive in conversion and car assembly using CNG to CNG2?
See, my brother, this is a very sensitive sector that you don't rush in. It is very explosive, very dangerous. I hope you are aware of the Papa incident in Norway some many years ago. The oil industry deals with highly inflammable and explosive variables, the petroleum. You saw during the Gulf War how Saddam targeted the warheads in Kuwait in order to distract the Allied forces. Let's be very careful what you are dealing with. You know what they call CNG? That thing you are carrying, that cylinder, the gas inside is highly compressed to about 200 to 300 bar. You will not understand what I'm talking about. Any explosion is more than, I don't know, type of bomb. If it explodes, the damage is better imagined if you have seen videos of them. So when you carry them at the back of your car, God help the person. Because there are some that are excuse me, they are substandard. Let me tell you, in the petroleum sector, when the Gowon administration was trying now to follow the footstep or the objective of OPEC, what did they do? They didn't rush into it. One team first, first team first. They established what they call the Petroleum Training Institute. I'm a product of that institute. I am so happy I went to that institute. How many do we have all over the world? Why did they do this? They knew that they need time to train Nigerians, not in a hurry. You will go in there, spend 2 years, the first 2 years, and then another 1 year to go your HD. Now they did all of that. Nigerians came from all over the country and then left the universities and came to Petroleum Training Institute here in Efu, where you call Warri. Hundreds were trained. So when we eventually established our refinery, we now had more than enough middleman power, made up of only Nigerians, good to go. And they did go, and they captured the refineries. They ran effectively the Warri refinery and the Port Harcourt refinery, and then the Kaduna refinery. You see, it took time of careful planning. They didn't say, oh, now that we have taken over our oil resource from the Shell BP, oh yeah, let us rush now. No, they knew that they had to, first of all, take time to train Nigeria, put the infrastructure in place in terms of the training institute. PTI was the best equipped all over the world, in this country. No university that offered petroleum engineering came close to PTI. Go and check. And then the product of that institute many years ago, today, they are experts all over the world. Now, if you want to go into CNG, you just rush people to say you're bringing technician, you convert them. Look at that cylinder you're looking at. If you know the potential risk of carrying that thing, if it is not properly designed, manufactured, In fact, hundreds of kilometers, maybe tens of kilometers away, you will not want to go near it. I will not. Have I not told you? I will never convert my car. Dangote is importing, how many trucks did they import? Did you see that he imported diesel powered trucks and they came here and said, we want to start using local technicians to fix the CNGs? No. Those things came factory fitted. Factory, all those trucks, they are factory fitted. So they are good to go because I've been issued. The engineers from the factory who designed the entire truck had designed where the CNG, the piping and everything. It's just like Dangote now going out to say, okay, he wants to convert those CNG trucks now to diesel. Let him try it now. Will he not have problem? We'll have problem. So it's the same thing when you, my brother, you buy your car that is designed to be powered by petrol, and then they deceive you to come to Nigeria, and then you come here, they come and tell you, don't worry, come and take John, come and take a free kit. Say no. Say I advise you not to take it. Quote me.
Okay. Why
If you want to
we
go
are
for
quoting you?
CNG, it should be a deliberate policy.
Okay, that it should be a deliberate policy to go for CNG. Okay, now, while we are quoting you, say quote you made mention of ability to have seasoned, trained professionals work on this particular conversion if the individuals decide to go that route. You also made mention of having this particular one come from ab initio, having it directly done by the assembly plant from the start. Then you also made mention of original part. Should we be looking at having this as one of the first go-to things to avoid any form of accident? Then also the issue of fear. You mentioned that even if you didn't say it directly. How can we get fear away from the minds of people that, hey, if it's well done, it works. If it's well conceived and well originally done, with original parts, it works. How can you, in this state, even if you are still telling what can result from mismanagement, mishandling, fake parts and all that, how can you also make the people understand that if it is well done, it is safe?
You have been using the word if. Why do you use if?
Because it's a question.
The fear is real.
Okay.
The fear is real. Go to me. It's just like you move into an apartment that is originally designed and constructed as a normal bungalow. And then because of the greed of the landlord, he already decided to convert it to a story building. And then somebody comes around to say, Brother John, this house you are living in, you know the fear. He said, how? See the house, not that house before. Rush, because the man won't collect more dough, won't put more tenant. Now a mount out, convert to this thing. Because that is a danger. Waiting. It's obvious. If the foundation is not designed for a story building or two-story building, and then suddenly you now convert it, a greedy landlord now converts it to a story or two-story building, it will collapse. So if I come around and say, John, what are you doing here? Say, this way I live now. I say, please, take off. You'll be asking me, this is what you're expressing fear. It's because it is really to happen. I have told us here, I told President Muhammadu Buhari, please, with your courage and your track record as a no-nonsense military general those days, now that you have accepted to be petroleum minister, can you put an end to these decades or years of fraud, massive fraud called fuel subsidy? And you know what he said? He later confessed that he was afraid to do it, not because he didn't agree with me that it's a massive fraud, but he was afraid, or he's afraid as at that time, because if he tries it, he believes that those cabal, those petro terrorists will mobilize innocent Nigeria to storm Aso Villa and throw him out. So he doesn't want to take that risk. He said it on Arise TV. You can go and check. It's still there. Now, but President Tinubu came and made me proud when he announced that me, I go do am. and it announced it there. No more fuel subsidy. Fuel subsidy is gone. I was so happy, and I remain so happy. But the problem is that I haven't put an end to that fraud because I said fuel subsidy never existed any day. Nobody, no, nothing like that. It just been primitive looting, unpatriotic stealing of our collective wealth. But after he did that, what happened? Suddenly we saw the management and board of NNPCL creating more problem for him by announcing that, okay, now that the president has stopped fuel subsidy, the price of petroleum product has, I think they started from 250 naira, just about less than 24 hours or 48 hours after I made that announcement. That became the problem till today. How will anybody ever convince me that in my beloved country, I will one day wake up and buy fuel for more than 100 naira per liter, let alone 1,000 something? He's been hovering around 890 to 1,000 till this moment. How? How? That is why I keep telling you, leave CNG aside. CNG is not a problem. I'm not against it, but you see, the likes of Greenfield, they are into CNG because their target customers are not the keke rider or me and you with our cars. Greenfield supplies industries up to far north. That is okay. But you see, the majority of Nigerians are dealing with fuel for their vehicles, for their tricycle, for their trucks, mini trucks, for moving men and goods. And so they are looking for a very cheap fuel. CNG is not the solution. You don't do it in a hurry. It will not work. It will not work.
Okay, hold on. If you say CNG, if you say CNG,
wasting our money.
Hold on. If you say CNG is not the solution for the normal common man, even if Doc will say there are no common men, if you say CNG is not the solution, then what is the workable? The word being, what is the workable solution as we speak? Knowing fully well that the petrol price right now has been deregulated and it's controlled by whoever is selling. So what is the solution right now? Know also fully well that most people don't even have the 1 million to do the conversion in the first place, that you are not in support of. So what will be the solution in your case?
Simple. You see that NNPCL? Scrap it. You see section, what section is it of the PIA that established that NNPCL? That thing should be what? Thrown out of that act. Take us back to NNPC as a corporation. For crying out loud, you cannot, and it is terribly wrong for our collective wealth, our petroleum resource that runs into trillions of dollars. You hand it over to a so-called company you call NNPCL, the same NNPCL that the president will sit and pick whoever he likes and makes members of board, chairmen, and all those things. And then those ones are now empowered by the PIA to say, look, we have given resources of our country into your hands. You manage it as you like. Tell us how much profit you made. And from that profit, keep about 30% of it and then give us the rest. So they can wake up and tell you, in fact, they did it, not that they can. Under Mele Kyari, he came and told us how many times that Nigeria, a whole country is owing their company, NNPCL. Did you not hear? That Nigeria is owing NNPCL trillions of naira. Hello, I've never been so insulted in my life. I've never. And what surprises me is the fact that even Nigerians who are well knowledgeable in this issue are keeping quiet. Either they are going behind to also be part of it to share and collect their own. How?
Okay,
So
while you are very focused on getting NNPC to work, how will NNPC working put cheap fuel in the vehicle of the ordinary person outside there?
I've told you now. How many times do you want me to repeat?
I don't mind. Keep repeating it, sir, please.
Okay, Mr. President, you don't hear me again. Let me repeat. I told Bayo Nanuga, I told some of your close aides, I want to see Mr. President. After you welcome some of my brothers here now from Delta. They came to see you to whisper something. I want to whisper into your ear. I campaign for you. I trust that you have the patriotic courage. But you have, unfortunately, I don't want to insult anybody, but those that you have appointed who are also from the industry like myself. By the way, I work for Total Energy E&P. I worked in the production department. I worked onshore. I worked offshore, and also worked the swamp. And so many years, I was in charge of preparing and analyzing the official figure of that company that we sent to NNPC and to Paris. There are many people who are even more knowledgeable than myself in Shell, in others. Who they think the current chairman of NNPCL, Engineer Musa Kida, is my colleague. We're all in F, later Total Energy. Bayo is also from Shell, well experienced man. But you see, the point here is that you must select people who worked in those industries who were very, very unhappy with the atrocities being committed by those companies against our country for all this year. Because if you put people who are very comfortable with all those things into critical sector like this, they are not going to help to change it. It is normal. We know these things. What me, I have told you, and I'm saying it with us, I'm not joking.
Okay.
I'm not joking when I say it.
Okay.
That we can fix. I have the idea that we can deploy. It will not take 3 months. Quote me, 3 months. We'll begin to have fuel not more than 15 naira per liter. I say, quote me. If I cannot do it, let them seize my certificates in engineering.
Okay. Right now,
I'm not joking.
you keep going to fuel for 50 naira. If we look at the inflation rate that we have right now, that would be a very tall order. But let's come back to the CNG question we are talking about.
Just don't go there. Don't go there. Don't even go there at all. Those ones, they come and tell you that inflation is double digit, has something to do with it. Let me tell you, my brother, let me tell you, with the petroleum sector well managed, no president of Nigeria has business to go out of this country to borrow a dime. Instead, we will be money lenders to even international countries. Quote me.
From what you're saying and from the direction where you're coming from.
Wait. Let me tell you one other thing again.
Okay.
Do you know the actual quantity, the accurate quantity of crude oil we produce in this country? They tell you it's 1.6 million barrels per day. They tell you that because of the adulting, one or two things, security has improved, blah, 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 it is now probably 1.7, and people are celebrating. Don't insult my intelligence. Before they started giving out oil feed to Nigerians all over the place, they're everywhere. Now, even most of the oil blocks that were abandoned called marginal feed, they gave to Nigerians and some foreigner Indians all over the place producing. How come that you have more producer and lesser quantity of crude oil? You believe that one? They produce and they steal out. No meters. They are not metering anything. Oh, they are not metering. Quote me now.
You're really taking us to a different lane where we didn't plan to go. And we'll say thank you very much. Let's just have this one question. I want you to talk to it. The CNG is here. Be it positive, be it negative. From your light or from your talk, it's where we are. Is it possible for us to start seeing these policies really get in the implementation they deserve so that the people of this beautiful country of ours can benefit of the removal of fuel subsidy?
Why do you keep saying that the CNG is here? It's not here, and it should not be here. It is not here.
But it's here.
Do you know, let me tell you, in engineering, we can start a design. I think there are some bridges in Abuja I see some time ago. Okay. You can have an initial design that we need to have a link road from Guzape to another point. I'm not quite familiar with Abuja, even though I visited most times. And then you initially design that road and but as time goes on and you see need, you can decide to abandon the original design. People say it's a waste of money, but you say, yes, as at that time you thought it was the best, but now you have seen that a better option, so you block that road and destroy that bridge that you have done. The layman will not understand that you have taken the best decision. They will say, oh, it's a waste of money. That is exactly what, no matter the amount that we have wasted so far in this CNG now, well, it's better than continuing it.
Okay.
Put an end to it. Stop it the way I say we have to stop those flyovers that we initially designed to give way for better design. The CNG, no be so. We can do that later, systematically. Now begin to train Nigerians over some years to be expert in CNG, either as engineers or technicians. Then, as we are doing that, we are now, building the facilities to produce those CNGs. But not rush it like that, say because we put an end to fuel subsidy, price of fuel now. All those 1,000 something per liter, all those ones are manipulated figures.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We've had Honorable, he's an engineer, Honorable Emmanuel Odafe Igbini, and he's categorically telling us from his perspective and his experience that the CNG initiative needs a whole lot of tinkering for it to work. Well, thank you very much. We are looking forward to a Nigeria that works, and I know that is what you want, a Nigeria that works. Even if you took us to places where we won't talk about on this table, I promise you, we want to go there, where we really look ourselves in the face and tell ourselves, NNPC, show your books. I want to say thank you very much, Engineer. It's a pleasure having you today. Thank you very much.
A pleasure. God bless Nigeria.
Thank you very much. Now, the Nigerian CNG initiative is at a very critical juncture. This disconnect is there. It's not just about delayed timelines. It's about a gap in trust. It's about a gap in coordination and execution and strategy. Now, how do we bring this gap and close it up? A lot of rhetorics that we need less of it. We need to concentrate more on action. We need transparency. We need accountability. This particular rollout plan, I will say from 2023 till now, how significant has it affected the common man on the street? And every stakeholder that is most likely going to invest and manage, how are they going to invest and manage and have profit both to themselves and the nation? Communication is key. People have different opinions. Everyone can contribute to this. We can't keep quiet. So should you. This is SOUQ Pulse, where we talk, because the success of this particular program is a major indicator of the government's ability to translate policy into tangible benefit. So this is where it concerns me. This is where it concerns you. We all need to put our hands, work, talk, and walk our talk. My name is Strux, John Roger Strux. It's always a pleasure having you back on SOUQ Pulse. We'll do this again on Thursday. Let your friend know. Share, follow us, and most importantly, be nice to your friend. My name is Strux. Have yourself a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye.